Hello my Bellaboos, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, my name is Bella Monsoon and this is the home of all things spooky this month. So if you are returning, I'm pretty sure by now you're wondering what is going on, and I'm also sure that you've gathered from the background that it is officially Bellaween and my birthday month, and so we're celebrating it a little bit differently than last year. So for those of you who know me outside of YouTube, you will know I am obsessed with creative and SFX makeup, and for the last 2 years I've done 31 days of Bellaween with a bunch of makeup looks. This year, because I started a storytime series on TikTok, which has been doing extremely well, I decided to switch it up and do something a little bit different. So here's the deal. Every single evening at 6 p.m, I'm going to be posting a brand new scary story time on both YouTube, right over here, as well as my TikTok account. All you have to do to be notified is subscribe to the channel and hit that notifications bell, and you will receive a notification every time a new video goes live. And on your TikTok account, all you have to do is follow my profile and you will automatically be able to find my new videos. Since this is the first video, I just wanted to give it a little bit of an introduction so that you weren't sitting there super confused, like, what happened to true crime, Bella? Where did it go? True crime is still here. True crime is not going anywhere. Every single week on a Friday, there will still be a new true crime video. This is just an addition for the month of Bellaween. So, in case you're curious, in case you're sitting there asking yourself, but Bella, what is a spooky story time? I'm gonna tell you. So these story times will consist of urban legends, true crime stories that are utterly bizarre, ghost stories, amazing works of fiction, as well as everything in between. And they're going to be a lot shorter than my normal episodes, so perfect just before bed. On to the magic. So all the information on the author of today's story will be in the description box as per usual. The feeling of a lingering presence during solitary moments. Everybody gets that feeling. I'm sure you have too. But what you probably haven't done is try to explain its occurrence. See, here's the thing. I had that feeling a few nights ago when I was in my room trying to sleep. I laid down, curled up, facing the wall which my bed is positioned next to. I slowly but surely felt something stand behind me, as everybody does at some point in their lives. It felt like it was lording over me and staring at me to no end. The funny thing about human psychology is that the brain hates the unknown, and so we always try to come up with some reasons for seemingly enigmatic events. So, being the creative wizard that it is, my brain tried to associate this figure with a face. Unfortunately, I was somewhat terrified, so my brain, as any brain would, decided to combine my sense of fear and the figure to give the figure a face that would warrant this level of fear. Fun fact though, the brain can't create faces, so it copies and pastes faces it's seen from anywhere really. But I mean, given the context, it's usually the most nightmare-inducing face you've ever seen. And also, given the context, this figure would be standing right behind you. So usually at this point, rational thought begins to take over. You try to reason with yourself as to why your worst nightmare wouldn't be standing behind you. This would usually work, and at the times where it wouldn't, you'd muster up all the courage you had left to look behind you. Well, that's at least what I did, and as expected by both you and I, there was nothing there. This is usually followed by reinforcing yourself with proofs as to why there couldn't be anything behind you. I never heard the door open, and I never even heard footsteps, are the most common ones in this scenario. And then you'd laugh at yourself for being stupid and you'd go to sleep. So this is the common thought pattern that is associated with the feeling of being watched. You know, come to think of it, there has to be a branch in psychology that is just dedicated to this feeling, seeing as it's so widespread. One thing I can be certain about though is that this feeling would always end due to what is known as Lex Parsimony. This is better known as Occam's razor. It basically states that the simplest explanations are usually the best. And in situations like my own, we can usually create explanations that are wonderfully wrapped in a package of rationality and reason. And that's exactly what'll get you killed. Hear me out. Have you ever thought about why you get these feelings? Not many people do. You see, the downside to Occam's razor is that it blinds you from seeing the other side to an event. To an average human being, for something to truly exist, it would need to conform to the laws of nature. I mean, if someone next to you had to just start flying about, you would probably start doubting your own sanity before believing that they were actually flying. But what if the watcher conforms to no laws? What if the reason that I didn't hear the figure is because it could fly, or at least hover at will? What if the reason that I didn't hear the door open is because the figure can move through objects at will? What if the reason I didn't see the figure is because it could render itself imperceptible at will? So at this point you'd be asking yourself, well, where is the evidence for such a figure even existing? But why would such a being, one that can defy every law of nature at will, leave evidence? I mean, if it was trying to frighten me in some way, I see no reason for it to leave traces of itself so that I can conclude that it exists. Perhaps it was only there to acquire the description of the face I fear the most, and that what we normally recognize as the feeling of being watched is actually just a tool that this figure uses in order to extract the facial design that we're terrified of. And what would it do with this? Well, I have one idea.
Make it a reality.
By now, you should have realized that there's no reason to deny this being's existence. The only reason we deny it is due to the figure posing a complex explanation to the idea that someone is watching, rather than a simple one. I don't know who you are, and I don't know where you are, but I hope you understand that next time you get the thought or feeling that something or someone is watching you, you remember that you're playing
the hidden game.
And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. And with that, I bid you good night and sweet dreams. Catch you tomorrow.